conversation of just, how's the podcast going, down at Nate's, well, actually, it was Shannon's birthday. I was asking the guys, hey.
When was this?
This was Saturday, this past Saturday.
Oh, when you went to Charlotte, right?
Yeah, when I went to Charlotte. So Shannon had her birthday party. Nate invited us over. And
Thanks for the no invite, Nate. Thanks for not hitting me up and telling me shit about it.
I told him I was already going to be down there in Charlotte for 2 birthdays. So one of them was my friend Allison's fiance, and then the other was Shannon's birthday. But anyway, I was just asking, the guys. I was like, hey, how you like it? And
they don't listen.
Nah, Chris listens.
Okay.
Benson listens.
Okay.
So he was like, yeah, you guys are good. Just lighten up your voices. And I was like, man, we both have like baritone voices.
Right,
so
right.
It's like, you want me to lighten it up? Like,
you want me to talk like this, like one of the other light skinned niggas on TV?
Bruh, I was like, man, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
But I'll take it. I'll take the criticism.
Right, yeah. Because it's all from a good place.
Obviously, yeah. But shout out to Dunson, man, the Rat Pack, for giving your comments and just your pretty much your likes and your dislikes about it. Your opinions about what you liked and you didn't like about our podcast. So we definitely shout out y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we welcome all the constructive and positive, even negative criticism.
Right.
We just welcome it all because it's gonna make us grow. But
yeah,
I guess we've already been talking, but we can go ahead and intro this episode. I want to say it's episode 8. We decided episode 8 of The Verdict. I got a substantial amount of feedback regarding the last episode with the neo-Nazis and the stuff like that.
Right.
Which I thought was a good episode.
Yeah.
I thought that I like how the tone has changed. The tone has changed, and I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm digging I'm digging the tone, and I'm digging the things that are going on.
Right.
And there's more to come. So I was just thinking like I don't know if you saw the story with the 2 little girls who went to not the 2 little girls, but the school that
went to Howard.
Right. The school that was traveling from Pennsylvania to Washington D.C. On a school trip. I've been on trips very similar to this, where I left my home state and visited colleges in the D.C. area.
Correct.
These 2 individuals, they went to a different place while they were in D.C. They purchased Trump memorabilia and paraphernalia, T-shirts and hats, "Make America Great Again," and Trump USA, whatever kind of shirts. Then they went and visited Howard, and they didn't like the reception that they got there. Do you think that the students at Howard were justified, or were they in the wrong with how they acted?
I would say it's kind of hard to even justify who's right or wrong because, well, for one, when I first read the story, I figured that these girls were, just from the article, it stated that these girls were reminded multiple times to not wear this hat while going to Howard. So from the reactions that the students said they received, it was pretty much they were ignored. So I mean, you're going to a HBCU. The girls claim that they didn't know they were going to a HBCU. So it's like,
not only do they claim they didn't know that they were going to an HBCU,
right?
The chaperones also claimed that they didn't know how it was an HBCU.
Exactly. Even constantly they were reminded that, hey, we're going to Howard.
Who was
HBCU.
reminded? Who was reminding them of that? I didn't see that. I think
it was like the counselor or whatnot. Pretty much the people who were part of the whole group, the whole fellowship, the whole program.
Okay, which would make sense. I'm hard pressed to believe. I mean, people don't know. You might not know much about NYU,
right?
But you know it's in New York.
You do.
You might not know much about these great Yale or Harvard or these places, but it's in like the upper.
I wouldn't wear a brown T-shirt or a hat going to Harvard or going to Princeton or going to Yale.
I wouldn't do
only unless like there's a football game or something like that, and I'm rooting for the team.
Okay, I just feel like for you to say that you didn't know that Howard was an HBCU, that seems like a crock of bullshit.
It does.
Seems like a very tall.
Plenty, man.
Like, I mean, I can't think of a more famous HBCU. I mean, Morehouse is very close.
Very close to DC.
I mean, people got to know that Howard University is a black school.
Right.
Like, if you don't know that, and they claim that they don't even know how they got there. They're supposed to be going to the zoo.
I don't know, man.
They're supposed to be going to the zoo. You just ended up with the niggas.
One can argue that, it's freedom of speech or freedom of expression, but I don't know about this one, man. It's like you're trying to instigate something,
right? That's
because you know that there are not going to be a lot of people who are for this, and especially what happened within the last couple of weeks. Like, you already know tensions are already running high in Howard, and Howard's just down the street from the White House. It's not far.
Right. So I get that you're in D.C. and what more political location is there to where your political,
So you already know these students are politically woke. They know what's going on.
You got to. If you out here supporting Trump, and I'm like, y'all can't even fucking vote.
No.
So, like, why are you out here repping who?
Man.
And, I get that it's freedom of speech, but people always say, hey, you shouldn't discuss, politics, religion, or, sexual orientation. So if you're going to be out here blatantly saying, like, oh, this is who I voted for, then you should expect some type of response. I mean, I don't know that anybody should be touching anybody or smacking things off your head.
No physical contact should, occur.
No
at
physical.
All.
But I don't know. It just seems to me like it's too, like, I wanted to be able to do whatever I want to do, but, I don't like how this is received. Like, you shouldn't. Supposedly, some students told them, "Hey,
they did. A couple of students.
I don't know if
constantly reminded.
I don't know if I believe that.
They're like, "Yo, well, you think they're just going? Let's let these white girls wear these hats?"
I don't think that they thought about it. When you were in high school, you're not thinking like that. You're not thinking like that.
Come on.
I don't think that they were thinking like that.
I don't know, man. This is a generation where they're constantly on social media. So to know what's going on and everything, I think they knew, pretty much seeing what this hat and what it represented. They knew what time it was. Come on.
I don't think that that the other students knew. I don't think that they were thinking like that. They were like, hey, we're out of town. We're going to have fun. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
Nah.
But so I am hard pressed to believe that no one said, hey, personally, I don't think this is a good idea. You can do what you want to do, but personally, I think you should take the hat off.
Well, in a sense, I kind of feel justice was served because they were they were, put on the spot in the cab, and had one guy take off the hat and said "F you." Pretty much.
This is what I don't understand about Trump supporters. Why? How come people automatically say, "Oh, just because we voted for Trump doesn't mean all Trump supporters are racist"? I don't think anyone's ever made that claim. But the problem is,
my coworkers.
The problem is, like, Trump is very supportive of racist behavior.
Racist behavior, man.
You're supporting his racist behavior. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Go look at the rallies if you need a reminder, man.
If you need a reminder.
He's still having rallies and you're the president. It's like, why are you having rallies? Like, pretty much these rallies are almost on the scale of to when you were still running the campaign.
Right.
And it's like, what are you doing? Like,
why are you still campaigning?
Why are you still trying to, make yourself credible?
Right.
Like, you're the president now. Like, why are you... I don't understand that. Like, I didn't see Bush do that. I didn't see Obama did that. They went and did speeches, but it was more towards, a particular event. Like, he just went to Phoenix. That's to speak. That's about what he's doing and to talk about the wall. And, like, talk about he's going to shut down the government if the wall isn't approved. Like, come on, bro.
Right. Like,
what are you doing?
This dude has no idea how to do his job. Man, he has none.
Pretty much what I've seen is he literally, the technique that I've seen is he pretty much has a ulterior. Either this or that. It's one extreme to another extreme. And it's like, you got to be able to negotiate, or
right.
at least try to have some type of middle ground between the Republicans and the Democrats. And, truth be told, the Republicans are starting not to like him either. So
there's those.
It's like, what's happening?
Because first of all, the Republicans hold the House and the Senate.
Right.
So you would think that any bill he's passing,
it would go right through.
It's flying right through because he holds the majority votes or his supporters.
Right.
So when your own supporters are like, ugh, I don't know about this one.
Right.
Then it shows a problem. Like, when your base is saying like, I don't know if we really rock with you like that.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
We didn't rock with her at all.
Right.
But you not that much better.
And I mean, he he embarrasses himself because he
Constantly.
goes on Twitter
Constantly.
and he's praising these people, praising them. And then one day when he doesn't get his way,
right,
he just talks junk about him.
Right.
He just talks shit about him. It's like, dude, like, what are you doing?
he talks fecal matter about his own base, and
it's like, God, like, whose team are you on? Like, you on your team, bro.
You're
You all
on-
by
you
yourself.
are on your own team
Because you'll build people up, but you're so quick to cut them down. I was
Cut 'em
like,
down.
God,
He's
that
fine.
is the American way, technically.
Right. What I don't understand though about women who support him, especially like you got these two teenage young girls or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, not everybody who votes for Trump is a racist. Okay, but do you support sexual offenders? I mean, this man, he's on tape bragging about sexually assaulting women.
Right.
He's bragging about it.
Right.
If this were a rap song, you would feel like, oh, I don't listen to rap because it degrades women, blah, blah, blah. But this is your president saying, I'm going to grab her by the pussy.
Right. Like, that's uncalled for, man.
I'm going to grab her by the pussy. I'm going to shove my tongue down her throat. And then,
and then he comes back and said, that's locker room chatter.
I'm like, yo, what?
I was like, bro.
What?
All right,
This
bro.
dude is wilding. Like,
Okay.
I don't get it, man. It's like living in a twilight zone. And I'm probably like one of the least political people I know, but it's just like, damn, every day is more and more bullshit
Every
from this
day.
dude.
Every day, and more people are being fired. Literally, I mean, it's the White House apprentice.
Do you think that black people can be racist?
No, I think they can be prejudiced.
Okay, so you seen Dear White People. That's what it sounds like. You seen Dear White People.
I mean,
but that was a bunch of bullshit, what she said. You don't think black people can be racist?
So in order to be known as a racist, I would classify it more towards the oppression of a particular race. I mean, it technically you could be racist. I think any race could be racist, but just as far as black people being racist in America, we don't have that platform to oppress other races.
I think that racism, first of all, is like I consider racism race warfare.
Okay.
Like, say for instance, the Jews or Asian people, they're very racist.
Right.
They prefer their own people.
Yeah.
They employ their own people. They support their own people.
They do.
And in the case where it's, if the average Asian person, let's say, I'm applying for a place and there's another Asian person and there's me and we got the same experience, they're going to go with the Asian dude.
Probably.
They're going to go with, but
is that necessarily racism or is it just prejudice? Because, he's probably thinking in the back of his mind, I don't know who this black guy is. He could be,
he doesn't know that other Asian guy either. But what he knows is that there's a common thread between the two of them. And they stand to gain more by staying together than by including outsiders.
Okay.
So I feel like that's prejudice and that's racist, but I don't feel like that's a bad thing. I feel like black people make a conscious effort to support other people and not support their own people.
We do that every day.
And that's why we have nothing. That's why we have nothing.
That's why I said it's impossible for the black person to.
That's our own. But we could be racist. We could be racist.
Yeah,
we could have things.
I can understand that. We could discriminate.
We could discriminate.
Yeah.
But instead, we choose to not support. We discriminated. They discriminate against us, and so do we. We also discriminate against us. Everybody else loves themselves, at least to the point where it's like, okay, I can rock with another white person. I can rock with another Native American. I can rock with another Indian person. Black people constantly tearing each other down.
We
constantly tearing each other down.
We definitely do. But do you think? What about this though? Like, I know one of the alt-right guys. I forget his name. He was talking about preserving the white race. So in a black, I guess in a black community, supporting a black owned, company or, a business, and just supporting just black businesses itself, would you say that's racism, or would you just say that's building up your community?
It's both. It's both.
It's both. So just sticking towards a black owned, so that can not be looked really as a negative.
I don't think that racism is negative. It's the preference of your own kind over someone else. But it's not a bad thing.
But racism is literally like I want to look up in a dictionary. Just what is racism? Let's break down the definition.
We should,
because from what I've learned and what I've read, pretty much racism is based on oppressing a certain class, oppressing a certain group of people. So that's what I've always classified it as. Well, and then when people are like, "Oh, well, I'm black, I can't be racist," and it's like when you break it down, and it's like, yeah, you can be prejudiced against other groups, but you can't truly oppress people. So I guess it's more the degree of oppression, because I can't oppress, an Asian family from, making money, from, or, an employer or employee coming to me and, I fire them or not hire them.
Right.
Only hire black people. So
I think the oppression falls more under prejudice than racism.
Really?
Because prejudice is showing that favoritism.
Yeah.
Over someone else. Racism, if you look at the word, like ism is basically like the word ism. It's like an ideology.
Yes.
It's like, a system.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at, a system or an ideology based off of your race,
right.
I don't see how that's a negative thing. If you think like, when you wake up in the morning, you probably be like, damn, I'm that nigga. In something you do, okay, you feel like, damn, I'm that nigga. But imagine if the people felt like, damn, we that people. And I feel like that's what every other person does. Every other race.
I feel like that's embracing your culture, though.
That's what racism is.
I don't think so, though. But you're pushing. You're saying that someone else is inferior.
That's
though.
prejudice. That's prejudice. Racism is supporting and colluding with your own people. It's a war. Between races. And the more we support ourselves and the more we uphold ourselves, the better off we are. But that's what racism and that prejudice is like, oh, well, I'm not going to fuck with nobody who's not black. I'm going to actually hold down people who are not like me. That's what I feel like prejudice is. Racism is like, I'm gung-ho for my people. My people. Now, prejudice is like, everybody else fuck you. That's how I look at it. So
that's like the complete like flip.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like, people don't want to have, they want to view racism as negative. They want to feel, people want.
Because that's what it's been classified as. When you think about the word, it's always looked upon as negative, both racism and prejudice.
Prejudice, they're both very, very bad words. They're both very taboo, but I feel like, I don't think there's anything wrong with supporting your own.
Oh, definitely not.
If you white and if you whatever you are, if you like, okay, I'm gonna go to this location because these.
My bad.
What's
you good? Did yours go out? My bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I just feel like I feel like black people can be racist, and I feel like they should be racist.
What?
I feel like they can and should be racist.
I don't know about that, but
don't be prejudiced, because no one is better than anyone else. So,
I've always been a person who likes to coexist. And I always like to support my own community as well. So if my community is struggling, I'm gonna try to support my community. Because if my community is struggling, of course I'm going to want to help. And I don't necessarily call it, prejudice or racism, because I'm supporting my own. Like, my community obviously needs help because it's struggling. And just coincidentally, it's due to racism that it existed within the system.
Answer me this. How much money do you think it would take to have a chain of black banks?
How much? It probably wouldn't take much.
What's not much? Let's throw a number out there.
I don't know.
50 million?
Maybe. I mean,
$50 million.
Truth be told, if all athletes put the money together,
That's
man,
what I'm
it wouldn't
saying.
be nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
But they ain't gonna do that though.
One athlete could do that.
Yeah, exactly. But they ain't gonna do that.
LeBron James could have done it 4 or 5 times by himself.
They're not gonna do that. Once you get that type of money, man, you're just like, whoa, look at all this stuff I'm buying. Look at all these trips I'm going on. They're not gonna spend any money, bro. They're gonna live life.
So who's holding you back?
Nobody.
Who's holding us back? No one is holding us back. We got the tools. We got the tools. I mean, that's what Jay said. You know,
that is real.
You know what he say? We're never gonna win because we never had the tools.
Right.
I'm trying to get these cats with no whistles to be official. Whatever the fuck he said.
Right.
But that was what he said. I encourage everybody who listening to this.
That's true.
Pause this and go listen to Jay-Z on Rap Radar. It was like, oh my God, like the things he was saying, I was just like mouth wide open, like.
But at the same time, I mean, man, it's just
nothing to stop. Nothing.
I wish Dick Gregory was still alive to be able to chime in on this, because I would love to hear his ideologies and just his opinion. But yeah.
Rest in peace to Dick Gregory. Man. Passed away at 84 years old.
Oh man.
I mean, 84 is old enough.
It is.
And I
don't know, man. I kind of want to live to be 100.
I'm not asking for nothing. I'm not asking for nothing else more than 77.
77.
77.
I mean, but you can still do some things. I mean, there's still cats out here in the 80s still hitting up the club player.
You can't, and you're right. But once you hit 77, you can't complain. You can't be mad. You can't complain. You didn't live
tired. Yeah,
you didn't live the good bit.
Yeah, you retired for about maybe 15 years,
right.
Maybe around that time.
Right. So
I could understand.
Yeah, once I hit 77, then I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna take what comes. So what else? What else we got?
I know. Hold on for a sec.
I'm asking like I don't have my own.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you had it.
I'm asking like I don't have my own
because I had it on. So the eclipse happened, and
Bev text me talking about let me know when you're here. Like, ooh, we here.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the eclipse happened, and a lot of people were disappointed. I know, and it's like it didn't even get dark like that. Like people were really upset. So this is how the eclipse work, okay, people? If you're not
right
in the totality,
you got to be in that.
If you're
range.
if you're not in that range, you're not gonna see anything. Outstanding. I mean, it got dim. It pretty much
get dim.
Here in Raleigh. It looked like I put on my shades on the outside, so that was pretty cool. And also, I had a picture of being in the shade by some trees, so you could actually see like the sun, and it kind of looked like a moon shape, if you will. Even though we're talking about the sun here, being blocked by the moon, but that's pretty much all we saw.
Did you have glasses?
Man, so how about I ordered some glasses and Amazon sent me like an email saying, hey, these aren't NASA approved, so we're just going to refund your money. And then the day after the eclipse, went to the mailbox, opened up the mailbox. There's a package from Amazon. And I open it up. It's the damn glasses. I was like, and they work too. Because I took them outside. I was like, let me see if these mugs work, bro. I could see the sun, like, bam.
Damn. So
I was like,
so they refunded you the money and gave you the well.
Thank you, Amazon.
There's shout out to Amazon. There's another one in 7 years though, so don't lose them.
Yo, so I'm actually thinking about doing like a business plan, like selling like some glasses, like 7 years from now, bam, just pass them out, and then what 2045, which isn't too long from now, that's another one that's going to happen. So the one in 7 years is going to be more northern. It's going to be like in Buffalo, New York and stuff.
I was just out there raw dogging it. I know a lot of people were saying don't look at the eclipse with your bare eyes, but I had to think to myself, there's not one single day I can remember in my life
where you looked up at the sun,
where I have never looked up at the sun
and went blind. Ray Charles.
I look up at the sun every day.
Exactly. I think everyone does.
I look up.
Like when you're driving in that sunset and then you put down the sun blind. Yeah.
I'm looking.
You just stared at the sun for about 2 seconds.
At least. But what I will say, though, is that when I tried to glance at that mug, boy, that shit was bright.
Yeah.
That shit was bright. I looked
doing that, like that Odell Beckham just like squinting. He's like,
So outside of the the last time I seen a solar eclipse star was on Charleston. Boy, it did get dark though.
It did get dark.
I mean,
you're in the totality.
We must have been because it was like 4:00 in the afternoon, and I remember it vividly. It was like 4:00 in the afternoon, and that mug was dark.
See,
like black.
See, that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
because
black.
I was watching it at work, like on CNN, and I mean, when it got dark, bro, you could like see the horizon all around you.
Right.
So I just wanted to see that. Like, I wanted to see that, but again, we only saw just a little bit. We're only like, I think Raleigh was only like 93%.
Yeah, like 90. I think it's 93, 94.
Yeah,
which that little percent makes a huge difference.
Does.
I was like, dang,
10,000s. My coworker, he was reading about it. He was like, yeah, it's like 10,000s of a difference. I was like, dang.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
All right, so what about this? We're gonna hit on the eclipse, and So since I done brought it up already, Jay-Z was on Rap Radar,
right?
Rap Radar, Elliott Wilson and Brian B. Miller, they have ties, more so Elliott Wilson than B. They have ties to Tidal. So they have a personal relationship with Jay-Z. But more so on the bottom. Either one of these gentlemen they probably have his number and could call him. Would he answer if they called? Probably not. They'd have to call.
Right.
And even then he's gonna be like, man, what the fuck? But they do have, what I'm saying, like having Jay-Z on a podcast, I can't think of a bigger guest to have. Anybody else really needs to have Drake or Kendrick or maybe Nicki.
Even J. Cole would be huge.
Yeah, but I mean, there's if you wanted to have somebody on J level, you have actually scratch all
Jay's
that.
level?
On J level. You got to go Justin Bieber,
fucking Diddy.
I don't even know if Diddy's on J level.
Diddy's a great entrepreneur.
Diddy was on,
I would love to have
Diddy
him on.
was on Drink Champs, I'm pretty sure, and I mean that's a huge deal. Yeah, but no, like I mean, Diddy will do an interview. He will do one.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you.
But Jay is very, reclusive. It's hard to get it. It's hard to get in contact with him. And I feel the same way for like Adele, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber.
What about Kanye? Because
Kanye, I wouldn't put on his, because Kanye will do an interview too.
Right.
If he feels like the person respects Kanye, then he'll do that interview.
So do you think, well, I don't want to get too sidetracked on it, but I'll just ask this one question real quick. So like, as far as like celebrities, would you consider Jay-Z like on like some Michael Jackson type level? Because that's like super.
Not at all. Not even close.
So you think he's under that?
He's way under that.
Way under that? Okay.
He's way under that because he doesn't ring bells. He doesn't ring too many bells outside of rap.
That's fair to say.
He's definitely,
but I feel like everybody at least knows one song from
everyone
Jay-Z.
does know at least one song. I mean, as far as being a rapper goes, he's taken that to the max.
True.
He's taken it to the max, but he never crossed over.
No.
Other guys, who've reached his sort of success have to cross over.
Mm-hmm.
The only person living who I would say is close to Michael Jackson would be Beyonce.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing living.
I would say, well, nah. I mean, she did do R&B. Started off R&B. She did a little bit of pop. I mean,
right. I've never been to a show, but I bet it's a show.
Man, I went to a show back in 2008 when B-Day first came out?
Okay.
So I was invited. I didn't like buy a ticket myself. I was invited just to get that cleared up.
True indeed.
But still a great performer. Robin Thicke opened up for her, believe it or not. So,
nice.
But yeah, Robin Thicke was singing Lost Without You and all that good stuff. And then Beyonce came and she performed for like 4 hours straight. And
I've heard that she normally performs like for a while.
Like her cardio is amazing.
Yeah. I've heard that she always performs for like every night 3 and 4 hours, and like when if she thinking about leaving, they be like, no, you better get out here and at least do Dangerously in Love 13 more times.
You know what I'm saying?
Like she be doing songs 13 times.
Bro, she's an amazing performer,
right?
And she's an amazing singer. Like I don't understand why people even hate her, but
I'm not even a fan, but it's just like, damn, you just
gotta respect
you
that.
Just got to like, I can probably think of like maybe 5 Beyonce songs that I like, but just looking at the shit that she do, right. I'm just like, yo, this is I can't think of nobody.
Nah.
I mean, I can't think of no one else. It's you.
Yeah. I mean, you can think of all the the female artists, the greats. I mean, you can think about like Madonna. You can think about Whitney Houston.
Right.
You can compare those, and I mean, it's like Beyonce.
Like she's killing it. She's been killing it for a very long time.
Right.
Like she's just like every single woman can listen to Beyonce and have their own experience. Like you can be a toddler, you could be a preteen, you could be a young woman, you could be an old woman, and you're going to have your own Beyonce. I don't know, like she just got it on lock for the women.
Yeah, man. I mean, Lemonade, that was apparently... Right. I didn't listen to the whole album, and I really should. But
did you watch the HBO special?
Yeah, I did, though.
That's listening to the whole album.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's good enough.
Yeah. I mean, but beyond that, I mean, women said it was one of the most personal albums that they've ever heard.
Right.
Because, every song, just about every song, they had something to relate to them. And I was like, I don't know if that's more of a marketing move or if she's really, putting herself out there, but I'm going to say it's a combination of both.
I was going to say, I think it's both. What I'll say is that, and I was going, I was in a bit of hot water when Lemonade came out.
I think a lot of people who are in relationships were in a little bit of hot water.
I mean, that thing
turned it up to high.
Boiling. I was already in hot water. Right. And here go Beyonce with an hour-long special, basically blasting me for all the shit I did. And I'm sitting there watching it with my girl, and I'm like, oh. Fuck.
Man.
Like, will you stop
Becky with the good hair, bro. It's
all
like,
the
what
shit.
What?
All the shit, man. So aside from so definitely so check Jay out on the Rap Radar podcast. I want to say part 1 is out now. They probably got a part 2 coming. But it just like, I mean, so many, I took away a lot of things that I'm not prepared to discuss just yet, but a lot of things that I took away from the segment, I thought it was very good. So I guess we could do the Kyrie trade. Since the NFL does not want us to be great.
Nope.
The NFL does not want us to be great. So really fuck the NFL. I don't even want to get into it with the NBA. So we'll have this conversation
all
here.
National Leagues.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
And I was talking to a friend of mine. Shout out to Snacks. I was talking to a friend of mine. He was like, it was too good a trade, actually.
I don't know if it was too good of a trade, but you go ahead and explain it, and I'll give you my opinion on it.
Well, what he said, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. He was like, if I'm Cleveland, I would have traded him. I would have taken anything to trade him to Sacramento or to Orlando or Phoenix or just some dead ass motherfucking place. Like, you don't want to play over here? Then go play in fucking Orlando. I would have taken anything. Anything so that you can take your ass and your complaining so you can take your complaining ass and go play in
You're
Orlando.
Teaching them a lesson,
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I would have done the same thing. I think that you did him too much of a service by sending him to a contender. You send him to a contender, and I mean, in there, he's gonna fucking beat him,
man. I was about to say, like, do you see like the lineup for those guys?
Right.
I mean, they're gonna be insane,
right? And
insane.
I think that you did. I think fucking. First of all, LeBron James and Jay Crowder, they don't like each other.
Nah.
At least Jay Crowder does not like LeBron James.
Nah,
he does not
like each other.
He does not like him.
But Crowder is a good player.
He's a decent player.
He's a good player.
And he's serviceable.
Being around being around Thomas and LeBron is gonna make him better. Because I mean, even you didn't even really think J.R. Smith was all that great. You didn't think no one thought Shumpert was going to be all that great.
He's not that great. He's not great at all.
But when he went to Cleveland, you saw his game from when he went from New York to Cleveland.
It was the same game, same terrible trash ass game.
I felt that they improved somewhat. I didn't say they.
That nigga's horrible. They need to
really.
They need to jettison him from the team immediately.
I don't know, man. Listen. As far as the players, the starting five, Shumpert is obviously Shumpert ain't even coming off the. He's coming off the bench. Yeah, he's not even starting. What am I even saying?
Yeah, he comes off the bench.
Yeah, he's not even starting. I mean, you got. Let's see. Yeah, you got LeBron, J.R. Smith.
Right.
Yeah, Shumpert's behind J.R. Smith.
Right.
Yeah, so you have like Kevin Love, you got Tristan Thompson, you got LeBron James, and you got Isaiah Thomas. And now you got Derrick Rose as well.
Which is another, like, what are y'all doing? Like, I mean, now Rose is my nigga. I love Derrick Rose. Like, on the version of NBA 2K that I have, Derrick Rose is still nice and he's still nasty. He still be cutting to the rim, you know, and it's very hard to contain him. But in real life, that was a very bad idea.
How many years did they sign him to? Like
just the one.
Just one?
Just the one.
Yeah,
because it's an experiment.
Of course, it's an experiment, man. His knees are an experiment.
Right. Well, they got the first round pick from Boston
for next year.
So all they really need him is for 1 year.
You know,
they're going to draft a point guard.
They're going to draft a really good player because that probably that first round pick is coming from Brooklyn. So Brooklyn's not a good team. So depending on how Brooklyn plays next year, they possibly will have the number one pick again. But that's going to go to. Oh man!
Yeah, Cleveland stay getting that number one pick. They do anything.
So does LeBron leave now? I mean, because you know
he's gone. There's
a committee, and I mean the possibility of having a number one pick, and LeBron probably has 5-6 years left in the league, maybe,
because he's on the way out.
He is on his way out. He's 32, 33.
You know what? I can't wait to see an
him
NBA
retire
without LeBron James.
I don't know. Wait. I think it's gonna be a sad moment because I mean
the most dominant player will leave, but do you know how equalizing that's gonna be for the rest of the league?
Oh yeah,
to have him
it's definitely gonna be equalizer.
To have him leave,
but there's gonna be somebody else who comes. There's always another coming in the decade. We don't know who it's gonna be. We don't know if it's gonna be Wiggins up in Minnesota. I mean, we don't know if it's gonna be your boy from Phoenix. What's his name?
But they would have already displayed their dominance to some degree. Like
they would have.
From the day he got in, you already knew, okay, this is the most dominant player, and then he proved it. But
I mean, like
with him gone,
the playoffs.
Yeah, with
finals 8 years in a row.
8 years in a row. No one else is. Other people aren't doing that. They're not doing it right now.
I mean, everybody's gonna make the argument Jordan could have done it. I'm sure Jordan could have done it. Gone, the final. He went to the finals every single year. He not every single year, but every time he went to the finals, he won. He went to 6.
He went to 6, and he won 6. I just feel like when he leaves, LeBron leaves, I think that the league is gonna go back to being very competitive. Because
it's wide open.
It'll be wide open.
It's wide open.
I don't even when he leaves, I think Kevin Durant will be the best player playing. But even he's not as dominant as LeBron. LeBron is on the downswing, and Kevin Durant right now is in his prime.
Right.
So that's where But in his prime, Kevin Durant is not as dominant as
LeBron.
As even old LeBron, old man Bron. Like. Old man Bron is like on some Logan shit,
right?
This nigga still on some Logan shit, bro.
Hey, I
gotta watch that movie.
Probably as soon as LeBron even retires, I mean, you'll have probably Steph Curry will probably be on his way out as well, at least within the next 3 years after LeBron leaves. Right. Tristan Thompson will be done.
Durant will be done.
Not Tristan Thompson.
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson. Yeah,
Klay Thompson. I think Klay Thompson's actually already on the way out.
On the way out.
I think that he doesn't have as many years left as probably like a Steph or other people.
I feel like he's gonna kind of fall off. He's gonna kind of be like the Pippen of the new era, just as far as being part of a team that, a great, and he was like a great 2-man as far as just being part of this Golden State. But I feel like he's gonna kind of just go to another team eventually after Golden State goes on their wave. I feel like he's gonna be the first person to be traded if there was a trade negotiation. Kyrie they were actually trying to trade Kyrie for Klay Thompson. but they kind of denied it. Yeah, they denied it. See, that's what I'm saying. Like they picked. That's why I'm saying Klay Thompson is going to be the next guy to get traded from Golden State.
I think that Iggy would leave. Iggy would have to get traded first. As a matter of fact,
it might be a package.
I was about to say they might have to go together. Because who's going to take Iggy by himself?
Nobody. Iggy tried to. What killed me? He tried to play the market. It was like nobody wants you.
Somebody does. Somebody definitely.
Not
does.
for the money though, because he was asking for too much, and the only people who were going to give him that type of money was Golden State. So it's kind of like
I'm a Finals MVP, and you saw that. If nothing else, I was able to reduce the most dominant player in the world. I was able to really, really get him out of his game.
The 6-man story.
This is true. I mean, he was resting a lot more than LeBron was anyway. So you should have been. And then the next year, LeBron was busting his ass the whole fucking time. So
you see, LeBron wanted that championship. He was like, I came here to Cleveland to win a championship.
He did.
So he did that.
Okay, man. So,
oh, did you want to talk about? I had one more topic about food. I promised my brother I'd talk about it.
Who?
My brother, my older brother.
What? I meant to say what?
Oh, about the food, the food situation.
The food situation.
All right, so pretty much, it was just about. The story goes like this. So this Sunday, I was in Charlotte, hanging out with mom and grandma and everything. My dad and my brother were down in Augusta, coming back from a bowling tournament. So I didn't know that when exactly they were going to arrive. They were going to arrive probably like around 5:30 or something like that. So my mom, she usually cooks Sunday dinner pretty early, like around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, she cooked the chicken differently this time. She actually had 3 chicken breasts and she cut them up like in slices, like almost like tenders. And then she served them up. So, I looked at the basket and I was like, man, this is different. Like I've never seen chicken like this before. My mom just, this is pretty much not natural for me to see my mom cook this, but whatever. I was like, it's my mom's cooking. I'm going to eat it. I know it's probably going to be more than likely be good. So, I get my batch. I actually got like 4 or 5 strips. And, come to find out, 2 days later, my brother gives me a phone call talking about did you eat all the chicken? And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, man, I opened up my lunch last night when I was at work. And I was like, yeah, man, I know mom about to hook it up, man. So he was like, he took me through the whole thing. He was like, man, I opened up the foil. Saw the yams, I was like, oh yeah, saw the cream corn, saw the broccoli, but then I only saw like 3 chickens. Like that's it. 3 strips of chicken. And I was like, bro, like don't blame it on me. Like I didn't eat all the chicken. He was like, yeah, you did. Cause mom told me that you took you had a pile of chicken on your plate. and I played it all. I was like, no, I didn't have a pile. There was plenty left. He was like, 5 ain't plenty, Wes. 5 ain't plenty. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, you listeners, can you tell me, like, has there ever been a time where you thought you gave or you left enough food on the table for everyone to eat, but then you get caught up and you get called out as being the greedy one? I just want to know, because this is not the first time this happened. This has happened multiple times, and apparently I'm the fat ass, eating up all the food, not giving a damn about everyone else. But at the same time, though, you can't blame me. Blame the preparer. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry
for not making this.
I'm sorry, mom, to throw you under the bus, but I told Marcus this. I told him, blame the preparer. She didn't make enough for a family of 6. Right. She only made enough for a family of 4.
Right.
And that my aunt was there, myself was there, grandma was there, and my mom. That was the 4 people. And usually there's only 4 people that usually come back like on bowling trips, because it's my dad, my mom, my brother, and my grandma. That's it. Aunt Jackie just came out of nowhere, I guess, but didn't talk about her.
Right.
I told him I was the easy target because I'm the baby. Everybody picks on the baby. I understand that, but
let me tell you a classic tale that only a few people probably know. But a good friend, a good friend of mine, and I'll make the story quick. I'm gonna fly through the story actually. Right. But a good friend of mine, Shamallory, she was got a visitor. Yeah, so a good friend of mine, Shamala, she was not only was she letting me stay with her,
Mm.
she was letting a good friend of mine stay there. Actually, she was letting myself and two good friends of mine live in the house with her.
Right.
With her and her son, and we kind of, pooled our resources together. She wasn't doing too great. I wasn't doing too great. The other two friends, none of us were doing too great, but together we were able to get by, during a rough patch from about 3 to maybe 6 months.
Mm.
So one particular night she makes some fish.
Mm.
And I mean, she knew that some of our other friends from school were going to come over, and she did so. She made the fish with the intention of feeding several individuals, herself and her son included.
Right.
So she made it, and we were having fish fries at her house. So,
Right.
but anyway, long story short, she made this fish, and so everybody ate one. I don't know what Jam hadn't. That's her son. Her son hadn't eaten yet because he was doing whatever he was doing. So he hadn't eaten yet. But everybody else did. Everybody else ate one piece of fish.
Right.
So, I mean, we didn't discuss it, but my friend Brandon, he basically he had eaten, and he went back in and he ate a second piece of fish. And we got on and we were saying like damn, you ate the last piece of fish, like that was Jam's fish, that was Jam's piece or whatever. And you wouldn't believe the firestorm that this started between quote unquote friends.
Bruh.
Like, people don't play about that last piece of food,
They don't.
last piece of meat, and and Brandon, he didn't feel bad. He was his reason. This was
Apathy, boy.
right. Like, I legit kid you not. When we grilled him about why he ate the last piece of fish, his response was, check this out. You got a mama, right? And you got a mama, right? And you got a mama. We were like, yo, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, are you saying that our mamas can prepare us? Like,
Nah.
we had no clue what the fuck this nigga was talking about. But boy, it started one of the most emotional situations I've ever seen, especially between men. And niggas was in there crying and saying how they really felt, all because this nigga ate the last piece of fish. Like, it's a big deal. Like, niggas got to be mindful about how much food you leave.
First of all, no tears should be shed.
Boy, niggas was crying.
No tears should. Listen, I admit, I took those 5-6 pieces, but my brother didn't shed no tears over that. Okay? Because he knows at the end of the day that, pretty much he's still going to eat this food and still be happy. Even though he's upset that he only had 3 pieces. I mean, it's, no tears.
Well,
no tears.
I think, this was a situation where people's, true feelings that were laying dormant bubbled up to the top. This wasn't the first or the last time.
Was people okay? I was about to say, were people under the influence of anything, like a little bit of alcohol in the system? Because that can.
This particular time,
I
don't even think so. On this particular time, not really. But there were other times where that was the case, and even fisticuffs. There were even fisticuffs.
So I'm not gonna eat food around those folks because I don't want to have to get in an altercation.
Yeah, niggas will throw down. Like, I mean, the simplest thing will throw some people off.
Like, you can't double up on. Well, I wouldn't say double up on plays, but just going back and getting seconds. At least if you're not part of that crew, at least ask.
I mean, he's very much part of the crew. He's very much part of the crew.
But if you are part of the crew and you provided a amount of fish and you didn't claim, or you got to set your food aside. If that food is already reserved for somebody, you kind of got to set it aside though.
Well, I think that at that particular time,
so he might have just been oblivious.
He his parents were very accommodating to his wishes.
Is he single, only child?
No, he wasn't the only child, but his parents really, really and he's actually no longer with us. Rest in peace. But when he was here, his parents they would sell the house. If it meant, if he need, if that's what he wanted, then that's what he gonna get. Like, I mean, they really just loved him and they wanted to accommodate him in every single way. And he kind of felt like, we had a very, him and the people around us, we had a very brotherly relationship. So he felt as though, and we know his parents, so he felt as though he could treat us the same way. Right. Like, nigga, no. Like, bro, no. Like, I mean, you wouldn't believe how many ways, he just would get comfortable. But I will say, but I mean, I just say, like, one day I had to tell you the full story, like what was said and what happened. But I mean, like, I always find myself in the middle of niggas crying and whining and fighting, bro. Like, it's crazy.
No one should have to go for fists in any argument or any. It shouldn't have to go to fists.
Oh yeah, I definitely been in fisticuffs with these niggas too. But
golly, but yeah, man,
that's crazy. Okay, so it was a slow week this week, man.
Very slow.
It was a slow week this week, so we'll save a topic or two. Just have a little baby after verdict segment. Yeah. If you guys were looking for it last week, since you saw me post it, it was there. Unfortunately, I did use some licensed content from the NFL without their permission.
That's why we dissing the NFL.
And they were hating on me. But this week I'm going to be very, 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 very careful to skate around anything that might be licensed or copywritten,
right.
So that we can finally get this content out there. The Roku channel is actually up too, but there is a ton of technical issues with it, and I'm still working it out.
Okay.
But it is coming together along, and I did hire someone who's like she's like a content marketing and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So she's gonna help us, plan some live events.
Hey.
She's gonna help us take the content, target the content more towards, the audience that we want.
She's gonna take us to that next level.
I think so. I think we're doing a lot of the right things, but we're kind of there's some things where we're kind of spitballing, and she's gonna give us a little bit more focus. So we welcome her. I'm also contemplating. I know you're very adamant about having a female co-host.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, of the people I know, she's in the lead. I don't know, she might be a little, busy. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll see. So at some point, I'll put y'all two together,
right?
And
see how things go.
Yeah, we'll see how things go.
Shout out them handles.
Listen, so we're getting more and more handles. So you can follow The Verdict. You can follow this podcast. Catch up with us on Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud at Verdict Podcast. That's how you can find this podcast on those sites. You can find us on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Google Play. What's the other guy? SoundCloud. Yeah, SoundCloud.
I was like, there is a fourth one.
There is a fourth one, but you can find us on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Google Play if you search The Verdict.
Yes.
Also, you can find us on YouTube now.
Yes.
If you search Verdict Podcast. You can find myself specifically on Twitter at House of Splash. There's more content coming from House of Splash soon. We're planning our first live event towards the mid to late September. So more on that soon. Once we get with our production team, our marketing team, we'll have more information about that. And how about you, young sir? Where can they find you?
You can find me at soundcloud.com/I am Wes Taylor, and you can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Wes Taylor.
All right. So thanks for listening. Stay tuned. And our video segment after the verdict, we'll post that segment shortly after you've had plenty of time to digest this.
All right, we out.
Yep.